Well, I mean, first of all, we have to. There's a part that's left unsaid in your story. Um, I will bet you a dime to a dollar that the vast majority of the personnel on that airplane looked more like you and less like me.
Mhm.
All right. Poland is one of the most racist nations on the planet. The Polish people despise black people, despise them, hate them. We know this because when um, when the Russians went into Kiev, there were a lot of African students studying in Ukrainian universities who had to flee, and they went to the Polish border and they wouldn't be let in. The Poles were
Yeah.
like, "Nah, you ain't coming in here. We don't let people that look like you in Poland." Um, Blatantly racist. So now they talk about these, they lack the proper certificates or the proper certifications, etc. Um, I don't know. Gosh, when Joe Biden makes an unannounced visit to Poland, and of course, no American president flies alone. There's going to be a C-5 aircraft landing with you know uh, armored sedans and Secret Service guys full of guns, none of which are registered. I'll tell you why they're not registered. Because the security protocol for the President of the United States is classified top secret. That means the composition of his security detail is not to be known by anybody. So we're not going to admit what we have in this vehicle, what this guy's carrying, or anything. We don't tell the Poles any of that stuff because they don't have a need to know. We will never let them know. Now, when was the last time they strip searched the Secret Service agents of the United States of America? The answer is never. And so what we have here is a double standard. Poland is upset with South Africa for a number of reasons. One, South Africa is not going to arrest Vladimir Putin when he arrives in Pretoria for the BRICS summit, even though that the International Criminal Court has issued a warrant for his arrest based upon baseless allegations of child kidnapping and I forget what the other one is, but they've accused him of two things that are just ludicrous. But Poland and Ukraine and other nations have said he must be arrested the moment he lands in South Africa because South Africa signed the accords that bring this up, and South Africa went, nah, we ain't going to do that. And so the Poles are angry. So this is retaliation, simple. The other thing is BRICS. South Africa is an original member of BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa Economic Forum, that's actually rapidly growing at the BRICS summit, which is taking place in South Africa, by the way. 19 nations have applied this year for membership. 19, including, by the way, Saudi Arabia, Iran, others, Egypt, Turkey, the whole world. And what it means is that South Africa is part of a movement that's gravitating away from the G7, NATO, Poland, Ukraine, and trying to live their lives free of the interference of the United States. So Poland's exacting their revenge. Now, here's the other thing I'll put out there. Poland didn't do this without instructions. You see, because the Poles aren't in the business of doing this on their own. The Poles were told by the United States, we'd like you to rough up the South African delegation. Send them a signal. And the Poles went, sure, we can do that because we're racist. We have no problem. In fact, we're going to enjoy doing this because these are black people and we don't like black people. And so we're really going to have a good time doing this. And they did. But to think that the Poles woke up in the morning and said, let's go irritate the government that's hosting the BRICS forum that can have an economic impact on our future. Most sane people go, that's not what we want to do, especially if we want to get BRICS to change their mind. What we'd like to do is actually treat these guys well, and maybe on the return trip, invite them in for some, borscht and vodka and, sing songs and have a good time and bond with them so that the next time we sit down and say, hey, we have concerns about X, Y, and Z, they'll say, those Poles are good guys. So yeah, we're going to sit down and listen to them. You know what's going to happen the next time somebody brings up Poland and South Africa? They're going to say those are racist people, the most racist people in Europe, second only the Ukrainians. in terms of their racism. And they're also recognized as American stooges because this didn't happen without America giving a direct order, rough up the South Africans.